What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Sector for Nerds. I'm Ryan Brower, and today I'm here to bring you guys my list of the top 5 Clone Wars Season 3 episodes. Before I begin today's list, let me just explain one thing, and that is that Mortis is not only the greatest arc of Season 3 by far, but it is also one of the top arcs in the Clone Wars. So, due to this, I will not be putting any of the episodes on this list, but know how good they are, and I am not bashing on them in any way because they are by far some of the greatest episodes of the Clone Wars. So without further ado, here we go, people. Starting us off at number 5, we have the Academy. Why? Because who doesn't love Ahsoka? That's why. Because in this episode, the student has become the teacher, as Ahsoka has to train a bunch of students at the Mandalorian Academy, but doing so, she's also sent there to discover a plot against Satine. I'm mumbling on my words here. And we learn in this episode that Prime Minister Almec is behind all of the black market deals and the food shortages that are going on at Mandalore. And the end of this episode is absolutely fantastic because Ahsoka comes in and she starts kicking butt against all of Almec's guards. She ends up taking the shock collar and puts it on Almec and forces Almec to force his soldiers to stop fighting. Satine gets rescued by, the cadets, one of which being her nephew. It was a great episode. Great to, kind of see like new characters come in as something Clone Wars does really good at. Seeing Ahsoka in action is always great as well. Just overall, great episode. At number 4, we have Nightsisters. Why? Because of, Nightsisters. That's why. Because this is really the first episode that really kicked Clone Wars into high gear. We started seeing new looks for everybody, which, every character from Obi-Wan to Anakin, Ventress, everyone was getting new looks. We got introduced to the Nightsisters and Mother Talzin. Just absolutely fantastic. I was into all this. There was a great lightsaber fight at the beginning of the episode between Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Ventress. There's a fight later on in the episode between Ventress and 2 of her Nightsister sisters going up against Dooku in another excellent fight. And the best part about that Dooku fight is that he was wearing pajamas. That's right, the exquisite pajamas that have been made famous. Thank goodness Battlefront 2 started using them for one of Dooku's attires because it looked fantastic. One of, I think, the only pajama fights we see in Clone Wars. At number 3, we have Wookie Hunt. Why? Because a certain Wookiee makes his debut in the Clone Wars, and his name is Chewbacca. And I think that's a good enough reason to put this on the list, because it starts out where, the whole episode starts out where Ahsoka's on the run, because in the episode before, she gets captured by Trandoshans and is taken to this island. So she's still on the run from these guys, and she's met up with these Jedi younglings. They were also taken. One of the younglings in Khalifa ends up dying, so now Ahsoka's on the run to try and get back to the other younglings, and gets back to them. They attack the dropship, and then out comes Chewie, because Chewie was taken captive as well. So yeah, just a really good episode. Getting to see Ahsoka and Chewbacca working together was really awesome because I love Ahsoka, and obviously Chewbacca is amazing. Eventually, they end up taking over the Trandoshan ship, and they end up returning to Coruscant. But for me, what the icing on the cake of this episode was, as if it wasn't good enough, because this episode was great without this scene, but just adding it was so much more amazing, where Ahsoka and Anakin have this chat where Anakin feels all upset for letting Ahsoka get taken. And Ahsoka has this amazing response to, everything that Anakin's apologizing for.
When I was out there, alone, all I had was your training and the lessons you taught me. And because of you, I did survive. And not only that, I was able to lead others to survive as well.
I don't know what to say.
I do. Thank you, Master.
At number 2, we have ARC Troopers. Why? Because of Kamino, and clones, and Obi-Wan, and Anakin, and Ventress, and Grievous. My gosh, was it my birthday when this episode was released? Oh my gosh, this was such a great arc, and it follows up on after, that season 1 episode, Rookies, where Rex and Cody, Echo, Fives, Heavy, they all have to defend the base on Rishi, and they end up blowing that up, whatever. So now Grievous, funny enough, Grievous and Ventress still decide to go through with this whole attack on Kamino thing anyway. Grievous's fleet gets there, and he ends up sacrificing his his transports to save, you know, his command ship and stuff. They get down to the planet, and they're just wiping through all the clones. Obi-Wan and Anakin have to come in, save them up. There's this amazing, like, double battle going on where you have Anakin versus Ventress, and then you have Obi-Wan versus Grievous. Two battles kind of both going on at the same time, very reminiscent to stuff in Revenge of the Sith. Clone 99 is absolutely brilliant, and just his sacrifice. But before I actually get into that, let me say, here's what I thought was going to happen. That scene when 99 died, here's what I thought was going to happen. When 99 got shot in the leg, I thought Fives looked at 99, and they had a close-up of Fives' face, and he just ran out from behind cover and went out into the open and started taking out droids. The thing that I thought was going to happen was I thought Fives was going to get shot, and then he would end up, that would be like the sacrifice to save 99. But that's not what happened, because what did happen was a droid ended up just shooting 99 twice in the back before Fives could kill him. So yeah, unfortunately that happened. But at the end of the episode, as Grievous and Ventress make their escape without the clone DNA, which is what they were there to get, Rex and Cody make Echo and Fives ARC troopers, and that moment was just so freaking cool, because, you know, I said it before, like, this Clone Wars, it really gets you invested into the clones, you know, like, people, you know, the average Star Wars fans may not know who Rex is if they haven't seen the Clone Wars, much less Echo and Fives, but the diehard Clone Wars fans are so invested in these guys, especially Echo and Fives. At number 1, we have Witches of Mist. Why? Because of the Savage and Ventress versus Dooku fight. That's why. Because it was just this amazing battle of all these, you know, Sith or dark side wielders going at it, fighting against each other with a song that, to me, in my eyes, is a Duel of the Fates equivalent in the Clone Wars. And the music by Kevin Kiner was just brilliant. Heck, I'm probably even playing it right now in this video in the background. It was great, and the fight told an excellent story. None of them could beat Dooku because of how powerful he is. Eventually, Savage turns on Ventress and, you know, tries to attack both her and Dooku. Dooku ends up getting away. Ventress follows. Obi-Wan and Anakin arrive because they're trying to hunt down Savage, and earlier on in the episode, they're going to the Knight brothers to try and find out where he went. They're going to Mother Talzin. They catch up to him, and you have Anakin and Obi-Wan dueling against Savage. You have Ventress and Dooku fighting each other. Dooku ends up getting the better of Ventress, and Ventress ends up fleeing. Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting Savage into the hangar. Savage does this amazing Force repulse on the battle droids and stuff, though I do question how he knows the Force repulse, but I'm not going to get into that because it was still a good moment. And the icing on the cake for this episode is at the end where Savage goes back to Dathomir, to Mother Talzin, and she tells him, "You have a brother." And Savage is like, "But I thought all of my kin were killed." But not all of them. No, because there was one living in the Outer Rim, in exile, which would then turn out to be one of the biggest returns in all of Star Wars. Oh yeah, and Delta Squad also managed to appear in this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like us on Facebook, and I will see you guys next time.